All right, welcome back and good morning. It is 6:30 a.m. my time. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be in your area. I want to deal with a subject that I planned on focusing on a lot sooner. I believe over a year ago, I thought about talking about this and focusing on this subject because this is a big part of what keeps the dog culture going. It's a big part of what makes it dangerous. And they set dangerous patterns and they establish dangerous behavior as the norm, as acceptable behavior. Okay? And, I've talked about this several times. I believe that this is a way for them to take attention away from resolving dog attacks. Oh, we don't have to worry about a solution or preventing this from happening again. We can just get people to focus on a hero and how wonderful of a story it is when it's about a hero. So we can praise the hero, praise the victim, whoever they saved, right? And that will be the focus of everybody's attention. And take your attention away from the fact that we need to prevent this from happening again. In this world, in regard to dog attacks, there's no need for heroes. There should be no need for no heroes. The fact that so many people need to be saved speaks to how dangerous, how deadly dogs are. And it reflects very badly on dogs in general. If every time they attack someone and someone helps that victim, that person who helps them is portrayed as a hero, that speaks to how dangerous dogs are. That reveals that you all know full well these things are deadly and that this was a near-death. Every single dog attack is a near-death experience. You confess to that when you hail these people as heroes for helping someone who is under attack by a dog. Now, I believe this hero narrative was started by this video primarily. This sent a serious buzz through the population. This video of this cat saving this boy from a dog attack. And understand, this boy was bigger than this dog. I would say this boy was maybe 3 to 4 times bigger than this dog. Now, we've all seen this. I'm not going to show it for the sake of this live stream. But you see how easily the dog handled the boy. Easily the dog dragged the boy and was able to do anything it wanted to do with the boy. The dog was I would say maybe 2 times. The boy is probably 2 times bigger than the dog. The dog was like half the boy's size, but was able to do whatever it wanted. That dog could have killed that boy. And I don't think it would have had much problems doing it. A small dog that size could have killed him. And that's why all dogs need to be banned. All of them. Okay? The best argument you might have is to keep the smallest dogs out there, because they'll get smaller than this. And even with that, you watch how many stories you hear about those dogs attacking people, ganging up, because a pack of small dogs, they can still kill. And one of them can kill an infant, so they'll still be dangerous. But I believe this video right here sparked a lot of hero videos, right? The hero narrative really took off. Now, if you look at the injuries that this boy suffered in this attack are significant. I don't know how many people seen them, and I think I have it. Maybe, yeah, I got it. How many people saw that? Just from that quick attack. You know, only lasted a few seconds. That boy had deep lacerations from that attack. Now, I hope this it's not a problem because it's stitched up. It's not really an open wound. But that was the scar left from that particular attack. So this was not good. It was not good. Because now, we can just turn dog attacks into stories about a hero, and that's all people will focus on. Well, that's exactly what's been happening. And that is a problem. That's a problem. Okay? That is helping to keep this culture going. Y'all remember this dog attack, right? And look at the title. Look at how he named the video. He said, "Thank God these heroes were nearby. Some people stopped and helped her and her kids who were under attack by this dog." Now, y'all remember this. This woman had pretty much given up, and she sort of stood back and allowed the dog to attack her child. She had given up. She was so scared, she refused to continue to try to save her daughter, scared that the dog might redirect its aggression against her. And I've seen this several times in dog attack videos where the adult will give up and refuse to try to save a child who's under attack. They'll give up because they don't want the dog to redirect its aggression. But yet these the same adults that we're supposed to refer to as guardians, protectors. Your laws are saying that it's okay to have dogs around because of these particular adults. These adults that are terrified and scared to even challenge a dog. They're supposed to be there to protect people. Okay, that don't work. That don't work. This hero narrative is so popular. I'm surprised it doesn't trend on Twitter. Inside Edition. You see the title. Teen hero rescues 6-year-old attacked by pit bull. Hero, hero, hero. The worst part about this is how long it's been going on and why we haven't examined what all of these heroes are saving people from. Is it something that's preventable? For us to never examine that, to say, hey, why don't we put an end to whatever these heroes are saving people from? Why don't we regulate that and keep that in check? That way we don't need heroes, because sometimes there are no heroes. In fact, usually there are no heroes. You just have someone who's mauled to death, severely mutilated. And listen, don't call people who save a person who's been mutilated a hero. The damage has been done. Their life is permanently ruined. You see, that takes a level of maturity to look past the hero stories and focus on what these so-called heroes are saving people from and saying we need to put an end to whatever these heroes are saving people from. But instead, you know what they do? As they report these hero stories, they remove pit bull bans. They loosen laws that have to do with safety. They give the dogs more freedom. They usher more dogs into schools and libraries and hospitals. They promote dogs even more. That's a serious problem. Serious problem. Y'all remember this story? Bat-wielding neighbor beats pit bull to rescue little girl who is under attack in the Bronx. This was more of one of those viral videos that a lot of people remember. I know I remember because of the guy. He had an iconic sort of image. They showed him standing there with the bat. Y'all remember this video? And two pit bulls roaming around the parking lot. Yeah, I remember talking about this on the live stream. Y'all remember this guy? This guy with the bat. There are a lot of thumbnails about this story of with him, and this is what the thumbnail shows, him standing there with that bat. He was hailed as a hero. Okay? It's a failure when you don't focus on whatever it is this hero was needed for. In fact, that makes us look dumb when we don't focus on putting whatever the hero's saving people from in check. That makes us look dumb. But the dog lover world, they want to do that forever. They don't want to ever focus on what these heroes are saving people from, because we don't want that. We don't want to need heroes. Huh? That's the world I want. I don't want to have to be saved every week. What type of world is that where you need heroes? You need somebody to come save you and save your life. That means you're messing up. You're mismanaging the society. That's what that means. Okay? But we never have these types of discussions. It always just ends with these goofy videos. I don't know how many of y'all remember. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Y'all remember Brogan? I think Bridger Walker. Y'all remember Bridger Walker? Saved his sister from a dog attack. And the Marvel comic CEO or whatever paid him a visit. He got a visit from Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson did a Zoom chat with him. Oh, look at our little hero. And Bridger and his sister looks in amazement. They're holding a WBC belt. Oh, that's Mike Tyson's belt. Oh, look at the hero, Mike Tyson. Look at the hero who saved his sister. And everybody heaping praise on this boy for being a hero. And that's where everybody's attention is. No. That's childish. That behavior itself is childlike. To only focus on this hero. Oh, hero. Especially when this happens often. Could you imagine every single day? Oh, we got another hero. Oh, a hero saved him from a dog. Oh, another hero saved him from a dog. You're doing this 7 days a week. At a certain point, you're going to be a dysfunctional group of people. You're going to be the face of stupidity if that continues. That's not a display of intelligence. Intelligence is only displayed when you examine and neutralize whatever it is these heroes are needed for. Because a bigger problem is that most victims don't get no hero. Don't try to get us to focus on the heroes when these heroes only save a small percentage of dog attack victims. How come we're not having a discussion about the people who don't have that privilege of a hero coming to save them? That should be what we talk about. Not doing backflips about a hero story. This makes us look very unintelligent and childlike. And I refuse to participate as an adult with other adults in that behavior. Yeah, whatever. Y'all view me, a lot of y'all nutters, you view me as a rebel. Oh, this is a very bad person. He's influencing people to be rebellious against the norm. That's right. That's right. And who cares? That's all people doing. There's like over 50 million YouTube channels. Get used to it. People have their own opinions. And you goofy if you stuck on everything that I say. Huh? That means you can't come up with nothing yourself. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem because it's very powerful. It's very effective when a toddler is being visited by a celebrity. The only thing you want to focus on is how happy the child is and how memorable of a moment this is for the child to be visited by a celebrity. It's very easy for your attention to be distracted. And that, again, that's so childish. And I refuse to partake in that type of behavior. Sometimes people, you just have to lead by example. You know, you got to be bold enough to stand on whatever is true, whatever the facts are, no matter how many people you see ignoring the facts. That's just how it is. It's a scary part of life, but it's mandatory. Mandatory. Right? Shout out to everybody. There's more people than I thought would be up this early. Shout out to all my UK people. It's probably somewhat in the afternoon in the UK right now. So this is problematic. The hero narrative. The hero narrative only serves to keep dogs in society. That's the biggest benefit of these hero stories. These stories are put out there primarily to protect the image of dogs. And it's done through distraction. Redirecting your attention to something else. Even though it has to do with the attack. They put out a number of articles. To this day, we hear stories pop up about Bridger. They have not talked about the danger of dogs in society yet. Every single time they bring up this story, it's all about hero. How many hero stories do we have to see before we say, hey, first of all, most people don't have a hero. Second of all, why don't we remove the need for heroes? Y'all remember this attack?
Caught on camera.
Whoa. Where this crazy chick who could have been mutilated came mighty close. Now, if she had been mauled, would it have been worth it? No. No, it would not have been worth it. That was stupid of her. That was stupid of her. Okay? A lot of these people, they will fight a pit bull as it attacks their dog. That's dumb. And instead of dealing with how dangerous our communities are because of the presence of dogs, instead of dealing with that, it's all a story about a hero. That's part of their con. That's part of the deception in this dog culture. And they need it. They need it to be a part of their narrative. They look for it. This one going back to 2013, which is around the time I think that cat story came out. Teen praised as hero for sacrifice in dog attack. Huh? Sacrifice? Okay. He protected his sister. Mallory screamed and ran when she saw the big black dog racing toward a girl getting off her school bus last week on Mechanic Street. Now, again, I have to point this out every single time. I've been doing this in every dog attack report. I have to point out that this is an unprovoked attack because the behaviorists, the veterinarians, and the dog trainers obviously are unable to identify an unprovoked attack. Here it is. Every single dog attack story, they explain that it's unprovoked, but somehow they have this secret information that tells them that all dog attacks are provoked by some evil, wicked behavior, some covert provocation of the dog. Okay? Got to keep these people on their toes. And then the dog turned and ran toward Mallory and another boy. That's when Austin Smith, 13, stepped in and became a hero in his neighborhood. Listen to that. Oh, wow. Austin Smith, 13, stepped in and became a hero in his neighborhood. You see how childish this is? I mean, I would be disappointed if they wrote this out, if they wrote this in the article and still also talked about the dangers of having dogs in society. This is dangerous. Okay? And this is part of their propaganda, to prop up heroes as a way of taking your attention away from the problems that dogs cause in society. Wow. Now, I hadn't even known about this. I just read about this for the first time before I went live. There are too many stories like this for me to count, for me to gather. As you all know, there are plenty. Now check this out. This was one of the crazier articles I've read. Dog attack survivors' advice for girl recovering from pit bull's bites. This surfaced back in 2012, right? 11 years ago. Now, okay, so a dog attack survivor advice to a small girl. What's his advice? Wait a minute, look at this. Look at this. The guy, he hopes others will take care of their dog nearby and not allow them to run loose. He's caught on one thought. It wasn't a tragic accident. It could have been prevented. Ward shared some of the sentiments as he emphasized his belief that it's not a breed that's dangerous, but a dog allowed to run loose. Okay, that's incriminating, by the way. Let me stop there. Yeah, thank you for helping me build my case against dogs and why they should all be banned. Yeah, I agree. It's not the breed that we should be focused on. We should be focused on dogs, period. All of them. But it is what it is. You have one breed that was literally bred for fighting and killing, that is literally more dangerous. Now look at this. As long as there's a human, what in the world? As long as there's a human attached with them, I'm okay, he said. In other words, as long as there's a person there who has a dog on the leash, he says he's okay. Yeah, you're saying that now until you see a person with a dog on the leash and that dog is no longer on the leash. After that dog snatched them to the ground, after it drags them over towards you and then attacks you, then you'd be singing a different tune. See, this is what I'm talking about. Is it that hard for you to figure this out without having to experience it first? That's where intelligence comes into play. And we're not getting that. Now, this guy shared his sympathy for this girl and wished her the best in her recovery. He hoped the girl's parents would give her time to work through her emotions and acknowledge those feelings can be more difficult to get past than any injuries suffered. And this is a quote. He said, "Life goes on." He said, "You've got to learn to live with it." He said, "She's definitely not alone in this. Life goes on. You have to learn to live with it. And you're not alone." What does that mean? That means, guess what, little girl? This might happen again. You might get attacked by another dog tomorrow. And then the next day. And if you live through all these attacks, you could be attacked every day for the rest of your life. You just have to learn to live with it. You're not alone, because we could be attacked as well. Okay, does that sound intelligent? Okay, if I'm looking for the intellectually advanced and highly evolved species, I would bypass this group of people. Okay, this is not intelligent. And listen to this language. Listen to how cult-like it is. Listen to how sacrificial it sounds. It sounds sadistic, doesn't it? Almost as if he's saying, you must be sacrificed. Oh, I'm sorry, little girl. We must sacrifice your blood to the dogs. The dog can attack you whenever it wants. Not just that dog, but any dog in the neighborhood. In fact, sorry, little girl, we're going to leave it up to the dogs whether or not you get attacked again. Sorry, we did not teach you that any dog can attack, and that just because the dog has been around you before in the past does not mean that it will never attack you in the future. That's basically what he's saying. Is that intelligent? No. That is dumb. And we don't do this when it comes to anything else. Anything else, we've made it a law. The hazard has to be corrected. You have what these OSHA people who will come through, they'll shut your business down. You got some type of safety hazard around there. Nobody can argue that dogs are not a safety hazard because attacks are a daily thing. It's a guaranteed safety hazard. Okay? It's beyond proven, man. It's like when you have something that that demonstrates its that it's hazardous on a daily basis, and it does it thousands of times every single day in one country, stop it. It's like, stop it. I'm not going to sit here and debate with you about that. And this might be why a lot of these experts don't want to have a dialogue. They don't want to debate with us because they know they don't have an argument. I don't blame them.
I don't really think of myself as a hero or anything for that. I just kind of helped a girl out.
It is a common theme among the...
But good for you. Good for you to say that. Says she don't look at herself as a hero. She just helped the girl out. I mean, who wouldn't try to help some toddler somewhere getting attacked by a flipping dog? That's natural. That's expected for a child to receive help that's under attack by a dog. My thing is, it's supposed to be just as natural and common sense to not allow the dogs in the neighborhoods to begin with for that very reason, because they're willing and able to launch a deadly attack. It's like you show a moment of intelligence, then that same logic goes right out the window. Like, you can't connect one thing to another. That's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. What is this? I didn't ask to be no cognitive coach. You shouldn't need nobody to help you to think, because it's really ain't thinking. It's just acting on your natural instincts. Lord, what is this? I'm instinct coaching now.
Kind of helped a girl out.
It is a common theme among those who put others first.
I like to think other people would have run towards it and did what I did.
But on August 18th,
how ironic. Talking about putting others first. If we really did that, dogs wouldn't be in our society.
2020, no one did what Darby did.
I was volunteering at the local summer camp. Someone let the one English Mastiff out, and I just walked by him to go brush one of the horses to get ready to go ride. And at like a flip of a switch, he just decided to start attacking her.
The dog?
Oh, did you hear that, dog behaviorist? Did you hear that, dog trainer, veterinarian, expert, whatever you might be? Y'all have a lot of fancy titles. Did you hear that? She just explained an unprovoked attack. No, seriously. That's what she just explained, an unprovoked attack. Okay, I'm doing my civil service. I'm trying to help y'all out.
He just decided to start attacking her.
The dog? More than 100 pounds. No match for that little girl.
We all hear like screams.
Okay. Dog's over 100 pounds, and you have a dog over 100 pounds around a 60-pound child. You telling me that's not a dangerous situation? That don't violate the laws we already have? No, I will never accept that. They want to say, oh, well, it's just a dog. No, that's exactly why it's dangerous, because it's a dog.
Screams, and I turn around.
Darby rushed to try and get that dog away from her, and she did it. But the dog turned on Darby.
He latched onto my left leg and got me down and started dragging and biting all over my leg.
See, this is the thing, people. A horse, a donkey, something, other animals, they might attack you too. But they'll just hit you and keep it moving. Yeah, they'll kick you or something and keep it moving. That's not the case with predators. Predators, carnivores, are not meant to be pets. When the whole concept of pets, that does not include predators, especially if they're big enough and large enough to kill adults. Again, nobody should have to lecture you on this. I'm surprised that Okay. Shout out to this woman, Darby Bicking. Shout out to her for rejecting the title of a hero. And my goodness, the number of stories like this is ridiculous. We've heard that before. We've heard people do that. Reject the hero title. Like, hey, I just did what I'm supposed to do.
We have a follow-up to a story we reported on Action News at 5.
Like, who wouldn't do what I did? That type of thing. I agree with that. Okay, why does that train of thought go out the window? Why does it just magically go out the window? When we don't even deal with the danger that dogs present to entire communities. Whether you being so-called responsible or not, these things manipulate restraints and barriers. Don't try to lecture us about a dog leash. All these stories and reports of dogs manipulating the restraint of a leash, a person having them on a leash, right? Dragging people. There's no solution outside of removing them from society. We cannot peacefully coexist. That has been proven.
Earlier tonight, special honors this evening for a Chester County teenager who heroically saved a little girl from a vicious dog attack and was seriously injured in the process. Action News' Brianna Gallagher has more.
We're so proud of you and honored to give.
See, this is childish right here. And, this helps build the case against dogs. If this person is such a hero for saving someone else from a dog attack, that means dogs are extremely dangerous. You sort of confess that someone's life was at risk by giving these types of acknowledgments. This is like a formal award. She getting a plaque and her name's probably etched into some placard or whatever. Look at this. Really? She's that much of a hero? So wow, whatever creature she was saved from or saved somebody from must be very dangerous and has no business in society. Okay, am I making sense? It's like I can't get through to these people, so I have to try to explain it. It's like they just don't get it, no matter how clear you explain it.
North America's highest honor for civilian heroism was awarded to 18-year-old Darby Bicking.
Darby Bicking has been awarded the Carnegie Medal from the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission.
And we're going to do everything in our power to keep dogs out of our society, out of our communities. That is what should be included in all of this award-giving nonsense. Okay? We become stupid not after we do stuff like this, not after we acknowledge people for being heroes. No, we become stupid when we go right along after this little ceremony is over and then put dogs on a pedestal again. Project them as the best thing for a family again. That's when we become extremely stupid. Okay? Actions like this, it challenges the promotion of dogs. You should not be awarding people and hailing them as a hero for protecting someone from something that you promote so hard. That's hypocritical, man.
People who, put themselves, who risk their own personal safety to save the life or help another person.
See, again, I interpret all of what she just said as this dog was very dangerous, very deadly. Okay, that's how I process this. What? Really? She's that much of a hero? All because of a dog? She saved someone from a dog attack? Okay, dogs need to go. Okay? That's the logic that follows all of this ceremony and awarding and acknowledgement. That's the logic that follows. Don't tell me it doesn't. Don't tell me that what we should do is go and start to praise dogs again, put them on the pedestal again, and pretend that they're harmless. That's the logic. That's the behavior that's supposed to follow a ceremony like this. I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, I'm challenging the norm. Huh? That's what people do. I'm not the first, won't be the last. People have been doing this since the beginning of time. You've always had a group of people who challenge the norm or what's accepted as the norm. It's just a matter of how strong their argument is. Okay, and we got you with this one. Y'all can't defend this nutter culture. Okay. These dog professionals, these are actually kind of clever people, because they refuse to have a back and forth with us because they know what's going to happen. They know that we're going to prove our point, and it's going to be based on what they say. Going to use what you say against you, because we do that now, because a lot of what you all say is written already on your website, your social media, and everywhere. You put your stupidity out there and people have called you out on it, and you haven't said anything in response. Okay, well, that's just an L you're taking. And that's what's going on right now. A bunch of behaviors everywhere just taking L's, because none of you are responding to me and debunking me. You're just taking L's. So that's why your profession is falling apart.
And so that's what Darby did.
While Darby is 18 now, she was just 15 when she didn't hesitate to help a little girl who was getting attacked by a dog.
We hear a scream, and I go and I run towards the girl with no thought in my brain at all, and I'm pushing the dog off of her.
Darby.
Okay. Well, this should have been your thought. Kids shouldn't scream as a result being under attack by what you calling man's best friend. Okay, we need to change everything. Change the language, change all that. Okay, just stop acting stupid. If you want to stop behaving in a stupid way, you got to stop talking stupid. That has to precede you stop behaving in a stupid manner. So all this fur mommy and fur baby, all of this stupid talk, man's best friend, all that's got to go. You understand? And y'all gonna have to deal with backlash, criticism, scrutiny when you promote that stuff. Okay, because we out here.
Pushing the dog off of her.
Darby was able to get the dog off of the 8-year-old girl, but then he latched onto her.
And I'm pushing with my right hand to get him off, and then after I get him off, I turn to get a chair, and he latches onto my leg and gets me down on the ground and starts dragging and basically playing tug of war with my leg.
Darby received stitches. Now, years later, she says that she's humbled to receive this honor.
When I found out I was one of the...
That's where it gets, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Give her the plaque, give her the honor, give her the award. I'm not against that. Keep that same energy after we leave this building. Okay? And the only way to keep that same energy is to make sure whatever she saved that little girl from is removed. Not just that particular dog, but all other dogs. Because this is what dogs do. Every day. I don't care what the population is. 14,000 dog bites per day is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, it's almost unbelievable. But the truth is, there are actually more than that. The true number is 3 to 4 times higher than that. Yeah. So this is a problem. There's no denying that.
Quite the fight.
Whoa.
I said longer than 10 minutes, and during that time, the mother put up quite the fight.
Amid the sounds of dogs barking at Overton Park, a feeling of concern lingers.
It makes me feel sad.
Emotions felt by many after hearing about the loss of 2 children killed by their pit bulls earlier this week.
It nearly brought me to tears. It's just heartbreaking. And
this was towards the end of last year.
I can't even wrap my head around it. My heart goes out to everybody involved.
In a statement, a relative says the woman never gave up trying to save her children, that family and friends plan to rally around them. The relative went...
Oh man, this one is bad. This is bad. It's a bad example.
On to say the woman has bite marks all over her body, including her face, but there doesn't appear to be any permanent damage. While the Shelby County Sheriff's Office says the woman is now in stable condition, an investigation is underway into what led to the attack. WREG has learned that the dogs involved were euthanized. An outcome that weighs heavy on the minds and hearts of many across the community.
I find that so heartbreaking, and I feel like I don't know, I find that to be very rare, but it's just so tragic.
Y'all remember this? I remember I covered this because I commented on that statement she just made there when she said it's very rare, which it is not rare. It's anything but rare. But this is real bad because the woman's kids were killed. There were 2 fatalities. You know, in a story like that, I think it's disrespectful to even bring up the word hero. The word hero shouldn't be found anywhere in a story like that. You know what I mean? But they were so desperate to take attention away from 2 kids that were killed. They went the hero route anyways. That is like criminal to me. You know, that's criminal behavior. That type of journalism is criminal. It's like, why do they report in this style? This is over the top pro dog. That is a scam. Take your attention away from the hazard. You got 2 child fatalities. And in the story where you report on this horrible tragedy, you only focus on the heroism of it. And you say nothing about, hey, guess what? These creatures that launched this attack, these fatal attacks, they're in 80 million more homes. So guess what? Everybody is in danger. So y'all better get rid of these things. This is a dog thing. Stop playing dumb. This is a dog thing where a child, 2 kids are tortured and then killed. That's a dog thing. People are not out here functioning like this. Okay, this is an exclusive type of sacrifice. I know you have your stories where lunatics do this and do that. Listen, we don't compare dogs to people. You can't go around killing random people in an attempt to remove all pedophiles, all abusers, all other sick criminals. We have to deal with them as they appear. And we don't have to view dogs the same. No, again, nobody should have to lecture about this. We're not dogs. We're not dogs. We don't have to treat dogs like people. And that idea alone is so ridiculous. And I'm not going to even have a discussion. I'm not going to argue with you about that. I'm not about to sit here and try to give no lecture about how we are not the same as dogs. If you don't already know that, then really you too dumb to be listening to this video, and you should move on right now. Now here's another story. He risked his life to save them. 2 brothers saved sister from dog attack. Y'all remember I shared this. This is, again, towards the end of last year. These stories pop up non-stop. I think it's irrefutable that this is part of the propaganda machine, to have this hero narrative, to look for it. Always look for it. And if you can find it, focus on it. So many opportunities to talk about or to question dogs in society, and they never do, because they have all these little tricks to take your attention away from it. It's crazy.
A family is recovering after suffering serious injuries from a dog attack last weekend. THV11's Brooke Buckner sat down with a mother of 3 who calls her 2 sons heroes. We do want to warn you, some of the injury images you're about to see can be disturbing.
I heard a voicemail from her, grabbed my stuff and ran, and then I had to rush to the hospital.
That's how Caitlin Mayo remembers the moment she found out dogs attacked her kids and mother in White County.
I mean, it was scary.
Mayo says her 3 kids, Aiden, Declan, and Ansley, were playing outside at her mother's house Sunday afternoon when 2 unleashed pit bull mixes charged at them from a neighbor's house. The 2 boys protected their 3-year-old sister from getting attacked.
Aiden told them all to run because he heard the dogs barking.
Okay? This was an unprovoked attack. What we should be talking about, we should be questioning whether or not people should own these things. That's what we need to be talking about. We should scrutinize the idea of owning these things. We have to do the expert's job for them. They're not doing it. They're the ones supposed to be doing this. They're the ones supposed to say, hey, newsflash, we have breaking news. Story in development. We have horrible news. Dog attacks on children, we have said, are all provoked, and that they're almost always caused by something that the child's doing to the dog. But upon further investigation and several studies of the facts, of the evidence, we have concluded irrefutably that almost all dog attacks are unprovoked. In fact, we have not found a single case of a dog attack that was actually provoked. This is what they're supposed to be doing, not me. Okay, and listen, all you experts, other people are doing it as well right now, and more people are going to be doing your job for you in the future, because you have a very important job. You are in control of lives. The information you put out will determine whether or not people live or die or have their life ruined by being disfigured. And you're not doing your job. Okay? You not doing your job has almost gotten me attacked. More than once. If y'all were doing your job, these mutants would not be in society.
Unleashed pit bull mixes charged at them from a neighbor's house. The 2 boys protected their 3-year-old sister from getting attacked.
Aiden told them all to run because he heard the dogs barking. Declan fell behind. The dogs got Declan. Aiden heard the dogs getting Declan and heard Declan screaming, so he ran back, pushed the dogs off of Declan, and told Declan to run.
10-year-old Aiden was released from the hospital early Wednesday night. Mayo says they counted 41 places on his body that needed stitches.
Whoa.
His left leg, there was 19 total injuries that they had to sew up.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't like how they showing the kids, so we'll just have the audio.
His right arm, there was 11 total that had to be sewn up. And then we counted the rest of the big ones that we could remember.
Declan, on the other hand, got released the same day and is back home recovering.
His recovery is just antibiotics and working that leg out.
Okay. This is not the type of story to be talking about no hero. What y'all need to be talking about is why those neighbors were in possession of deadly creatures that could on their own manipulate restraints and barriers and make it to the people's house next door and attack people unprovoked. Need to talk about whether it's smart or not to just let any and everybody own these things. Nothing else to talk about. This talking point of a hero is horrible. It's one of their biggest weapons. Y'all remember this story? Another hero story. True heroes. This might be the same story. There are so many of them. Yeah, I've lost count. The question is, why are these heroes needed? And this is the same type of hero coming in for the same thing. Now, how is that possible? Where you have these heroes who save people from the same perpetrators, but yet we never question whether or not those perpetrators should be in society, even though those perpetrators are launching unique attacks. Attacks on toddlers and babies are unique to dogs. People are not, and this is like every 2 weeks, there's a fatality. Mutilations and attacks are far more frequent. Far more frequent. So this is a demographic that only is attacked by dogs, that only has lethal attacks launched against them only by dogs. And it's on a regular basis. Don't tell me that it does not make sense to treat them like dogs. Don't tell me I need to treat these things like humans. Under no circumstances. This is a very dangerous part of their con, to run this hero scam. Right? Be mindful of it. It's part of the deception. Notice the same media outlets that run these hero stories are the same ones that have dogs on their shows, where they're, helping some shelter somewhere to adopt dogs, to find people to adopt dogs. Same media outlets that do that are the same ones that run these hero stories. That's because the hero stories are pro-dog stories. They're pro-dog stories. And they're like anti-human stories. Because they function to make sure dogs continue to launch these attacks. That's what it does. If it's taking your attention away from the need to remove dogs from society, then it's protecting their place in society. It's really that simple. So yeah, I'm always mindful of that. Isn't that a sick, that's like a real sick, twisted, very sadistic world this is. Where you have all these little tricks and talking points. There are no bad dogs. There are no attacks out of the blue. They have all these little catchphrases. Call themselves prepared for any criticism. It's a shame that we haven't gone after this culture sooner. They've been permeating and going on for a while now, several decades now. I remember in the 90s, it was strong. A lot of my schoolmates were real addicted to dogs, always talking about these terriers and different breeds of dogs. I remember that clearly. And that was in the early 1990s. So it was pretty strong back then. Really took off in the 80s, this nuttery. But man, the internet sent it through the roof. And it didn't take long after the internet took off for the nuttery to take off. Which shows, the internet can be good, it can be bad. Because it definitely helped anti-dog people. It helped the movement. Without the internet, we'd just be individuals scattered all throughout the population, and would probably keep what we're saying now to ourselves. But because of the internet, man, we got a whole library of content, not just audio, but written, that'll hopefully stay here and wake people up until this nutter culture is gone, eradicated. That is the goal. Like I said, they can make a strong argument to keep small dogs around and to, only remove dogs that are so large, above a certain number of pounds. But eventually, even small dogs, because they're going to produce their own statistics as well. Because they're still dogs. They're still just as dumb. They're still just as nasty and filthy and aggressive. And they're going to continue to attack. And they're primarily, they're primarily going to be attacking your kids. So they're going to produce their own statistics that might be even worse in some ways than the ones that are produced now. And that's how it is with mutants. Why don't people respect nature enough to not keep something in existence they know full well nature didn't create, that man created, that nature's trying to get rid of? I mean, these things they prove to be mutants through their behavior. It's like they're screaming for people to acknowledge them as mutants, not as man's best friend. They're going out of their way to be identified as an enemy to mankind, not as man's best friend. Above and beyond. There's no denying that. And man still not recognizing it, still not acting on it. That's a deep level of primitiveness right there, people. That's a strong example of a lack of evolution, intellectual evolution, man. It's irrefutable. So, listen. People in general, our overall intelligence, it might dip, it might go down at times. But at other times, it increases, it goes up, it elevates. We evolve. And I believe that we have a natural instinct or drive, desire to evolve. That's what sets us apart from other living things. We're aware of what it is to evolve. We have the ability to and the desire to. I refuse to be around people who have no desire to evolve. In fact, make it clear that they don't want to evolve. Never want to move past the lifestyle of living with dogs. And this is more than that. You're exchanging body fluids with them, allowing them to have an effect on our immune system, allowing their germs and bacteria and parasites all the time it needs to adapt to us, to figure out how to invade our bodies. Different diseases and infections that appear in the environment, you got this vacuum cleaner that's going to seek it out. That's seeking it out every time it goes outside and come right back into your house and give it to you. So there are always new diseases popping up. And this is the perfect transmitter of all zoonotic diseases, all of them. No, it's not intelligent. Not intelligent. You can't practice stupidity like that on one hand and expect to be an evolved group just because you do something else that's evolved. You really don't do nothing else. You create some fancy gadget, some neat little toy. That really don't prove that you are intelligent. Especially when the technology has been passed down for several decades and generations that you had a whole lot of time to build on, and it's just an idea for a little gadget anyways. Maybe a blueprint how to build a building or something goofy like that. See, to evolve in this way is more challenging. It's more complex. It's more sophisticated. It's more intellectual. But it's really scientific. We're talking about germs and parasites and stuff like that. If you don't want to go in that direction, then you're truly too primitive to evolve anyways. You need to be left behind. Okay? We need this area. Y'all lucky I'm not a billionaire. I'd produce that island and it would be successful. If anybody does that, if they make any part of the country anti-dog and say only, well, that there are no dogs in this part of the world, that part of the world would stay populated. You'd never lack tenants. You would always have people who would want to live there. Right? So there is a anti-dog future on its way in some way. I'm looking forward to that. Somebody shout out to Mutts I Hate in the chat room. That's a funny name. Shout out to everybody. What is going on? What are y'all doing up, man? Is it Sunday morning? 7:40 a.m. Yeah, I'm up every day around this time. Well, even earlier. Usually get up around 4 o'clock, even on my days off. Keep my sleep pattern. Yeah. Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy right now. And with the dog attacks going up, you're going to get more journalists, more mainstream journalists and people who talk about it. Right? Naturally, it's going to happen. A lot of these social media personalities talk about dogs. That's a big thing. A lot of people like Dr. Phil, they'll follow their lead. They'll follow the lead of a real popular social media figure. And a lot of the popular social media figures, they talk about dogs. That woman, Allie Beth Stuckey, is a pretty popular social media person. Sometimes she'll focus on pit bulls. Yeah. She made a yeah, she was a fan of Tucker Carlson. Oh God. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I didn't want to see that. I gotta check this out. The Indian Rabbit Hole. We Hate Dogs shared this. Shar retweeted it. What happens when you let a dog nut into Parliament? Oh, it's age restricted. Okay, yeah, I have to check it out later. I retweeted it though. I have to see what that's about. I retweeted something earlier. What was that? Oh man. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Twitter is, I have to be careful when I come to Twitter. That I don't show something, because there's a lot of stuff that they show on Twitter that, you really can't show on YouTube. Now, look at this. This is a recent story. I actually retweeted this 5 days ago. I tried to translate this. Well, I did translate it. Okay, here it is. Oh, wait a minute. I want to show that. Police are refusing to file a case on this cruelty, where there is considerable proof of how the dogs were killed and how, but now no media channel wants to show this. This is in India. How about that? Police are refusing to file a case. So the everyday people killed these menace, these bloodthirsty dogs. They're spreading rabies, attacking people unprovoked nonstop. The people defended themselves. Don't try to sell me this idea that these people get some type of pleasure out of seeing dogs in pain, and that they're attacking dogs for no reason. People just don't do that. In countries like this, it's so disrespectful to project the idea that they kill these dogs for some type of sick personal pleasure. That is extremely disrespectful. It's pretty obvious why they kill dogs in parts of the world like this. Yeah, the police are refusing to file a case. Of course, the police are not going to file an animal cruelty case. Have you not heard? The police probably keep up with dog attacks. Police out there shooting them too. It's like, what are you even talking about? We are allowed to defend ourselves against an attack. But when the attacker is a dog, that's animal cruelty? That's how these people operate. India, of all places. You have got to be kidding me. So the people out there in certain parts of India, they handle business themselves. They protect their communities themselves. And man, I'm still sort of in shock that, I want to show that. I'm still sort of in shock. Oh, what is this? I gotta stop that. I don't know what that is. I'm still kind of in shock that people have to live like that. And that would be a nightmare. Every time you step out your door, there are dogs everywhere. And you see dogs everywhere all the way till you get to work. And there are a bunch of dogs at your job. Oh, I don't want to show that. These people are beating, over there in India, beating dogs to death. Here, let me retweet this. I don't want to show it, but I'm going to retweet it. Over there in India. Whoa, let me pause this. Wait, it's not playing. Look at this. Selective media coverage is unacceptable. Why is the murder of a dog and her infant babies less newsworthy than a non-fatal dog scratch or bite? Let's see if some balanced coverage. All lives matter. No, all lives don't matter. This goofy era where y'all just all about slogans and catchphrases, y'all need to stop with that, because it's just not true. Dog lives are not as important as human lives. If you're not human or humane enough to acknowledge that, then you don't need to live around people. You should be viewed as a hazard, as a danger to people. Anybody who openly believes that human life is no more valuable than the life of a dog, you're dangerous. You're dangerous because you're going to start to operate in the world like that. You actually are, by owning dogs. Yeah, shout out to the media who did not go out and report and blurt these people defending themselves from dogs to the stupid media. Are you out of your mind? These people being attacked and terrorized by dogs non-stop. These attacks on, do y'all understand? Do y'all not understand that the general population in these areas where there are kids killed, the general population becomes traumatized. They become psychologically and emotionally traumatized. They literally start to live on the edge. And it's a natural instinct. You have people getting killed, being attacked, torn apart, kids torn apart, and it's right down the road, right down the street. That whole community becomes traumatized. So if they see a dog acting aggressive, they're going to be very quick to not tolerate, to neutralize it, to put it down. They're not walking around attacking all strays that they see. But when a stray dog is acting aggressive, they take the initiative and put it down right there on the spot. And the general population is in better position to do that, to determine which dogs are more aggressive than others. And that's what they need to be doing, even based on your standards. Based on the dog lover standards, the aggressive alphas should be neutralized. We've heard them say that. Who better to determine which ones are the alpha, the most aggressive, than the people who live in that area? So when they congregate and put a dog down, shut your stupid mouth. Because all of those dogs should be removed. You lucky they just putting down the aggressive ones. Because realistically, they should not tolerate any of them in their society. No people deserve to live like that, where there's stray dogs everywhere. I mean, everywhere. That's ridiculous. They trying to fight back, trying to claw their way towards a civilized community. And you want to go tell ASPCA on them. Goofy nutter. That's why I say a lot of these nutters over there in India and other parts of the world where there are a lot of stray dogs, they're worse or more of a nutter than these nutters over here in the United States. Boy, you are on a Nazi level of a nutter doing stuff like this. Trying to force those people to live in the most dangerous and filthy, I mean, even health-wise, extremely dangerous lifestyle. You're out of your mind. Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible situation. Yeah. Here in the United States, they're like dogs in every home. Yeah, it's like that here in the United States too. It's like dogs in, it seems like it. They say 60% of U.S. homes, it seems like more than that. Because you got to remember, a lot of these people, they don't register those dogs. So they're not counted as a home with dogs. So a lot of these people, you know, they have dogs. It's probably closer to 75%, 80% of homes in the United States with dogs. That still affects me, everybody else. All that filth. All of that filth produced by these vermins. And that's the thing. Their diseases and parasites is still being contained within the community. So that's why it's still dangerous for them to own dogs in our territory. That is so crazy. Can you imagine how much healthier we'd be? I cannot imagine how much healthier we'd be. We'd probably morph into a whole different species if we remove dogs from our midst. I'm dead serious about that. We'd probably physically evolve because their presence probably causes us to physically regress. Look at how dumb so many people are. And I hate to go here. I hate to take it here. And you all know I admire people. I admire people more than anything else. But look at how dumb some people are. Some people are unbelievably dumb. Like, you'd have to see it to believe it dumb. Think about that. There might be something making them dumb. We don't know. But we do know that a bunch of dog parasites infect a lot of people. Okay? There might be some dots that need to be connected there. That's scary, man. That's scary, and we'll never know. We'll never know because everywhere you go, there's dogs everywhere. I used to think that there were really no dogs in Muslim countries, but they're everywhere in Muslim countries too. So there's nowhere on this planet where there are no dogs. That's scary. So when you consider that, how can we not talk about dogs when we talk about some type of outbreak? When we talk about some type of infectious disease, how can we not talk about dogs? Yeah. But notice a lot of journalists and experts, they'll slide dogs in there. I shared the articles. You can imagine dogs are probably solely responsible for the majority of our illnesses. So, yeah, sound pollution, we don't know how it affects us. And that's the thing. But to have our water infected with their excrement, oh man, have our air contaminated with their urine and excrement, that's so dangerous. When we know how toxic their excrement and urine is, that's far too dangerous for us to be supporting. So dogs are on the hot seat. They're on the hot seat. We did it. We're all over the internet. There's a thorough database on pit bull victim awareness, and it's like operational to show you where these attacks are taking place. Okay, it's irrefutable. There have been more than enough doctors, healthcare professionals who've admitted to enough information for us to go to the Supreme Court and ban dogs. We got all the information we need. It's all about how committed people are to justice. Will they do the right thing or not? No, they will not. So I'm going to continue to go live and put the message out there best I can. Yeah, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah. Yes. What's the name of that? People who hate people. That is being pushed in society. Definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of backwardness is being promoted. You fill in the blanks. A lot of backwardness is being promoted. And more, it's like something is definitely going on. There is an agenda. There are several agendas. We got to be mindful of them. Yeah, be sure to check that out on Twitter. A lot of street justice is seen on Twitter. Oh, shout out to everybody who's able to join me this morning. Yeah. Misanthropy. Yeah. Misanthropy. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Yeah, I've been wanting to talk. I gotta talk about that. I gotta do my homework on it though. Right? And I hope all of you are able to join me. I'll probably be back a little later on. Most likely be back a little later on. Hope you all are able to join me. Big shout out to everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. And I will see you next time as we continue with this crusade.